Look at her, Richard. Look at how magnificent she is. The most deadly hunter ever created. The most deadly dinosaur ever created. And I did it because I'm a mad scientist.
You're mad. You are mad. How can you play God by creating a dinosaur? However, did you do this?
Oh, I just let her listen to this Pod Bros exclusive.
What's up, everybody? I'm Richard.
And I'm Sean.
No, okay. There we go. We are speaking the language of bromance. Sean, I learned so much today.
What'd you
learn?
So
much.
What did you go?
I learned about dolphins, Sean.
Ooh,
I learned about
chickens of the sea, I believe they're called.
Are they?
No, that's tuna.
Is it chicken in the can?
Is it chicken or tuna?
That's
That's a reference to Date Yourself, Richard.
You got it.
Well, yeah, that's when what the hell were their names? Some dude from 98 Degrees, a boy band that nobody cared about, and a Simpson. It was one of the Simpsons, not Bart or Homer.
The D-list boy band.
Yeah. I remember when they came out. I'm like, who are these guys?
So I'm gonna mention a few things here. I'm gonna give you some bullet points, and then we're gonna get into our story for today. Okay. Okay. These are the things that are gonna tantalize you. You ready? Dolphins.
Already in.
Sex.
Double in.
NASA.
Space dolphin sex.
LSD.
Woo, this is getting freaky.
And a scientist with an open shirt and long hair.
Oh, okay. I'm totally in.
All right. So the story, I'm going to give credit to the original story because I'm going to be paraphrased. The story I found is huge. And
how huge is it?
It's huge. I had to go through it and trim it down to make some notes. So this story, I found it at The Guardian. It's from Christopher Riley, and it was published in June of 2014.
Okay, relatively recent, about 3 years ago.
Yeah, relatively recent. But this talks about something that happened way, way back in the day.
Okay.
So the story starts off with talking about this woman, and her name is Margaret Lavette. That's Lovatt. Margaret Lavette.
Well, we're already invested. Margaret's made an appearance on this podcast a few times.
So at the time, Margaret is 97 years old at the time of the story.
So when of 2014 or?
Yeah.
Okay.
So he's interviewing Margaret in 2014. So at 2014, she's 97.
Is this like a Titanic story?
You know what? Kind of. A little bit.
That dolphin drew me like one of its tuna friends.
So the story starts off and it talks about how she loved Margaret loved to read books about talking animals.
Okay.
Like animals that kind of like Dr. Dolittle, shit like that. She loved stories about animals that love to talk.
So I'm guessing her age, she was a huge Mr. Ed fan.
Oh, I bet. Not just Mr. Ed, Flipper. No, wait, Flipper
didn't talk.
Like
he just squeaked.
Well, yeah, but Flipper was in the 60s.
And then there was Lassie. Lassie could kind of bark in dog voice, and everybody knew what he said.
Okay, so she lived on the island of St. Thomas, which is in the Caribbean, kind of near Florida.
Okay.
So I'm going to take you back to Christmas of 1963.
Summer of Love.
Yeah. No, that was 69.
Why was it 69?
And also in the summer.
No.
Not Christmas.
Well, it's in the Caribbean. It's always summer. Ha! I win.
I win at climate. No, Sean, we all lose.
The seasons still change. Just because it's warm doesn't mean it's summer. Whatever.
I win at climate. Yay. Her brother-in-law her brother-in-law during Christmas, her brother-in-law mentioned something about a secret lab that's on the eastern part of the island.
It sounds like this is like him fucking with her. Like she won't
I
shut
know,
up.
right? Like it's like he had one too many eggnogs, and he's like, I heard about a super secret lab over on the island. Well, if you know about it, how's it secret? Well,
Still say out loud. Shh. Inside voice. They might be bugging us. You know, Margaret, how you like talking animals? Well, they have talking beavers over there.
yeah, this is like the island of Dr. Moreau. That's how that when I first read this story, that's what popped into my head. A secret lab on an island, like
Human hybrids.
Anthony Hopkins crawling around making creepy weird shit. So anyway, okay, so there's a secret. Apparently he says there's a secret lab on the eastern part of the island that works with dolphins. And so she was like fascinated. Like her mind was captivated by this idea, Sean.
Makes sense.
So she dug around and she actually went and visited the lab.
It was in an old post office. No, I'm here for the secret lab.
She went to the lab and knocked on the door, and she was met by a tall man with tousled hair, an open shirt, smoking a cigarette.
It's like he just got done making sweet nothings to something.
Hello, I am what's his name? His name was Gregory Batson.
Wow, this story's been built for us. We have Gregory on the show all the time too.
Yeah. So this is Gregory Batson. But I'm just imagining like this like Fabio looking character. Like it's like Ricardo Montalban, like his shirt's open and he's got these like rippling pecs and abs and shit like that. And he's smoking a cigarette. And he's got this long hair that's like flowing in the wind. Why have you come to my lab?
Oh, sorry, I had just finished my lab work. Excuse the appearance. Oh, the shirt is so dirty. Oh, Gregory.
So he asks why she's there, and she said, I heard you had dolphins. And he's like, well, yes, I have 3 dolphins. And she wants to see them. Now, Batson's like, I don't know about just like random chicks coming to my door. Like, I thought this was supposed to be a secret lab. Random people knocking on the damn door. But he's impressed with her bravado, and he lets her into the lab.
Mm-hmm.
He asks her to watch the dolphins and write down any observations that she has about their behavior or anything like that. She turned out to be an intuitive observer, and Batson told her to come back anytime, and she could, look at the dolphins and stuff like that.
Is this code?
It might be.
Like, is this 60s code?
Come look at the dolphins.
Yeah, we're going to go look at the 3 dolphins. She was a great observer with her mouth. What do you mean by that? She liked to talk a lot.
About the damn dolphins.
So when are we going to look at these dolphins? They're in my bathtub. Oh, I don't see any dolphins in the bathtub.
But I'm just saying, like, this guy isn't doing a very good job keeping the lab a secret. Fucking dolphins. He's doing a terrible job keeping the lab a secret. Like, people just knock on the door. He's like, oh, yeah, come on in. Whatever. It's fine.
Don't tell anybody. It's the first rule of Secret Club. Don't talk about Secret Club. Second rule, bring a friend.
There were 3 dolphins in the lab, and their names were Peter, Pamela, and Sissy.
Oh, poor Sissy. She didn't get a P name.
I know, right? But Sissy was the biggest, and she was very pushy and loud. So Sissy was like the boss of the group.
Yeah, so she kind of had an attitude, a little bitchy.
Yeah. Pamela was shy, and Peter was sexually coming of age and a bit naughty. That's the quote from the story.
I've heard dolphin. We've talked about way back in the day. I think like our 20 or 30th episode, somewhere in there, we talked about a dolphin that got busy with scuba divers.
Right.
I believe they're only, what are they? One of 3 animals that have sex for pleasure. Elephants,
it's like
dolphins, and pigs.
Yeah, I knew it was dolphins and pigs. I forgot about elephants and us.
Oh,
well, not like us, but like us as humans. Not like us.
Humans have sex for pleasure?
I don't know.
I've been doing it wrong all these years.
I saw it on the internet for research.
They seem to enjoy it, but I don't understand why the pizza man spanked the woman.
I know. Apparently, not only have I been having sex wrong the entire time, I've also been accepting deliveries from the pizza man wrong this entire time. And you know what? The other day, when I had a guy come over to fix my sink, apparently there's way more I should have done.
Apparently, if you show up naked, they call the police.
The lab itself was designed by a man named Dr. John Lilly. He hoped to commune with dolphins by bringing them closer together with humans. So basically, with increased contact with humans, he hoped to eventually learn to communicate with them.
Did he sleep in rafts in their little pool area so he could be close?
Maybe. We're getting there, Sean. Not rafts, but something similar.
Oh, geez. Why am I not a scientist? I'm coming up with all these ideas.
Bring them closer together and hopefully have them make human sounds through their blowholes. So he was thinking that they could use their blowholes to talk like people talk.
He's like, no, we totally can make that blowhole a mouth, I swear. Sounds like some scientist that got caught with his pants down. No, I swear.
And he holds a hole. Lilly's interest came in 1949 when he found a beached pilot whale that was near his house. He was completely amazed by the size of the creature's brain.
Well, and the fact that it was flying a plane, holy shit. I didn't realize dolphins could fly planes. How did they get their pilot's license?
It's a pilot whale. Number one, we're talking about a whale.
I thought you said pilot dolphin.
Number two, it's called a pilot. Damn you and your puns. And number three, it's a pilot whale.
Where do they pin the wings at on those guys?
On the front. It's like they're flippers, but they're wings. That's what happened.
I think Peter's going to be upset with that.
Yes, it's very impractical. God damn it. So I don't know how he managed to view this creature's brain, but I guess he did, and he was amazed by the size of the brain. Now you have to keep in mind this is 1949. So at the time it was thought like, oh, big brain must be smart, right?
That's still the case, right? Because I thought actual whales and stuff didn't have big brains. Or is that not true?
Well, okay, you look at early man. Early man actually had bigger brains.
Oh, I don't think I realized that.
That's why they have the big foreheads.
Oh, I thought they just looked funny. I thought it's because they were like goats and they would ram heads.
They
for their...
run it.
Yeah.
Just run it. That's how they made caves. They just beat their heads against the wall.
That's what I heard. Yeah, because caves just existed from those guys. That's why they called them cavemen. And then when they wanted to mate, to show their dominance, they would scrape at the dirt and run head first. And the one that didn't get the dizziest got to mate with the woman.
You know what? That's still kind of true today. I mean, metaphorically, but it's there.
With fists. It's
and I lose.
I'm a big, strong man. I'm going to take your wife. Well, we're married. Oh, no, we got to go through this, Sean. Wait, what?
It's tradition. This is ritual.
Oh.
Don't deny your heritage. My heritage is the heritage of cowards. So later he would charter sailboats and he would look for other big-brained fish. And finally, so he chartered sailboats and sailed all over the place, and he's looking for fish with big brains. Because he's like, oh, big brains, they must be smart, and then I'll teach them how to talk.
So he shows
maybe
up.
They already know how to talk. Or maybe I'll find a fish, and they'll have a bigger brain than I do, and then I'll be like, oh my God, this fish is going to start revolution, and then I'll kill it, and I'll be the savior of humanity.
Well, so what's his goal to find these? Does he put a chalkboard on a fishing hook and put it in the water with 2 + 2?
He waits for a fish to finish it.
2 + 2 = chair. Damn it! This fish's spelling is superb, but it can't do math.
So he finally heard about there was a lab in Miami that had the first dolphin in captivity.
Oh wow! In the 40s?
Yeah. No, this would have been probably the 50s. So he went to go visit the dolphin because at the time dolphins were actually seen as pests because
Really?
because we were fishing
Mm-hmm.
and dolphins eat fish, and so we saw them as kind of a nuisance.
Aw, you got dolphin in my net, tuna. You got my tuna and my dolphin. Oh, that doesn't have the same ring as Reese's Pieces.
Right. But then, like, we captured them, and then we found out we could make them do tricks. So then we're like, ha ha ha,
Yeah.
dolphins.
They have a use. Let's charge $600 a person and feed
Yeah.
them nothing because you're a stupid animal. And there's plenty of you in the ocean. Oh, wait, there's not that many in the ocean.
Oh. Well, I don't know. In the 50s, maybe there were tons of dolphins, but we killed them all because we thought they were idiots. And then somebody, here's what happened. Here's what happened, okay? So there were two guys on a boat that were just out killing dolphins. And then to pass the time when they weren't hunting dolphins, they were like playing volleyball on the deck of the beach. And so the ball accidentally, somebody hits it too hard and it goes in the water. And then they're like, oh shit, now we gotta get it. And the dolphin comes up and they're like, get that fucking dolphin. And the dolphin hits the ball up in the air and like balances it on its nose and then hits it with its tail. And they're like, oh, wait a minute.
And that's the day Barnum and Bailey found their lives calling.
And SeaWorld, and step 2, SeaWorld.
But the dolphin looks so sad. No, that's just how they always look, because they have a big, stupid face.
Oh, look at his stupid face. It's got a big brain, though.
Bang on the glass. They love it when you bang on the glass.
Keep an eye, Dolores. I think he's eyeing your necklace. Dolphins are thieves.
They'll steal your innocence, that's for sure.
Apparently. Steal your innocence. They smell the virgin blood in the water.
Quick, before the sharks get here.
In 1957, his research would change. So Lily was taught. So we're going back to Margaret. So Margaret heard Lily talking, and the dolphins would try to mimic Lily and his assistant. So Lily would like talk and make noise, and then the dolphin would try to make a noise like similar in pitch.
Okay.
And then they noticed when his assistant would talk, obviously it's a woman, so her pitch is more feminine, and so the dolphin would try to up its pitch to mimic what she was saying.
So the dolphins were like making fun of them in their own way.
Yeah, basically. Dolphins like raw, 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 wah, 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 wah.
Look at me. I'm a big, stupid human. I walk around. I can't breathe underwater very well. Stupid
I'm a
human.
stupid human too. I like to have sex for pleasure just like the pigs. I don't know what any of this is about. Birth control. It was the 50s. She reported this to Lily because apparently they were talking and the dolphin was doing this and they didn't notice. So Margaret says something to Dr. Lily about it and says, "Hey, these dolphins are making fun of you."
Quick, punch him in the dick.
Shoot it. No, wait, give it a ball.
Where's the harpoon? Get the harpoon.
Yeah.
Smile, you son of a bitch.
And then it bounces the ball around. It's like, ha ha ha, that's why we keep you around.
Entertain me, clownfish.
Yeah, that's a good point. Do you think that how many endangered species do you think or extinct species do you think would still be around if they just, figured out a way to make us happy? Like condors.
Ooh.
Like if condors, did like tricks on command like eagles, do you think that we'd still have condors?
That's a good point. I don't know. Like you think like dogs and cats, like they're considered pets, so you don't eat them.
Do we eat dolphin?
I'm sure
I thought we
somebody
didn't eat-
does. I'm sure it's some aphrodisiac somewhere. Like someone's like, no, you eat dolphin penis and you're hard for 6 years.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I don't know if that would be very comfortable, but
A big delicacy in China is shark fins.
Yeah, I've heard that. Tiger penises too.
there's like a whole market of like a whole black market on shark fins.
Because it's supposed to be an aphrodisiac too, right?
Well, it's illegal. Yeah, something like that. But it's illegal to just fish the fins. Because there's been a lot of cases where they like pull the shark out, they slice the fin off, and then just throw the shark in, and it dies, of course.
Well, I think you can't eat much of a shark either. Like most of it's like toxic or something like that. I thought like there's only like small amounts you can eat.
Shark meat in and of itself isn't very. Have you ever had shark meat? I've eaten shark. It tastes like it's kind of like a white fish. I mean, it tastes like white fish, but it's a bit tougher.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's got a bit more meat to it. You know what I mean?
How do they do that? Is it just usually grilled, or how'd you have it?
Was that? How did I have it? I think I had it fried. It was deep fried.
Oh, okay.
Maybe I don't remember. Shit, that's been forever ago. Okay, so she says something to Lily about the animals, and he thought it was the animals trying to communicate. He's like, "Oh, they're trying to talk to us. It's like Dr. Dolittle, but I can't understand a fucking word they're saying."
It's like that show Lassie, somebody's in the whale, all that kind of stuff.
So something like that, yeah. So he thinks on this, and he comes up with this theory that dolphins are smart enough that we should be able to communicate with them, that we should be able to figure out how to talk to them, or they can figure out how to talk to us.
Okay.
And honestly, as I'm reading this story, I'm thinking of Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, where it's so long and thanks for all the fish.
Oh, I got you. Have you read the book and seen the movie, or just seen the movie?
I've seen the movie. I've read some of the book. It's one of those books that I wish I finished, but I never finished.
Poser.
It was a long time. I was a teenager when I started reading it.
Mm.
It's just I don't know why I didn't finish it. I think I checked it out from the school library. I checked it out from the school library, and then I had to give it back, and then I just never.
Oh, I gotcha. Well, there you go. If anybody has a copy, they can mail it to you.
They could.
Yeah.
I would totally. I should finish that. I'm sure I could probably find it on fucking Amazon or something.
Oh, I bet they have like the ebook for free or super cheap.
Yeah. Because I don't even know how old that book is. So he published his theory in 1961, and it was called Man and Dolphin, and his book actually became a bestseller.
Nice. That must have been like a bad time when you were walking by Barnes and Nobles back in the day. And what was the title of the book?
Man and Dolphin.
Man and Dolphin. You're like, whoa, that's the wife's going to be out of town this weekend. This sounds kind of erotic. Oh, it's just a research book.
Damn it. I don't want your smarts.
I spent those $3. I could have got real smut.
Yeah, get that learning out of my face.
Now I have to use my imagination, and that's a scary place.
It's dark. It's dark in there. You don't want to go in there.
And then the pilot whale said, "Come on into the cockpit."
The book extrapolated the theory of man talking to dolphins, saying that possibly we could eventually teach them English, and ultimately we could have a dolphin chair at the UN.
Oh, wow.
So that's like he's like, picture this. What if eventually we have a dolphin seat at the UN? And the people are like, that's not practical. You got to put a whole water tank in there.
Well, he's probably thinking it's going to have some breathing apparatus. It's going to slither in.
Today I'd like to talk about fishing rights.
Quick, somebody throw him a tennis ball, distract him.
This means war on the a beach ball.
Art.
That's a seal, damn it.
Ow. What's it? Oh, dolphins are
right. But I bet they would have if say a dolphin was on the UN, they would probably say, well, you represent the sea. So it's like Atlantis.
Yeah, basically.
It's dolphins. So the dolphins are like, I'm the king of Atlantis. Like Aquaman. Jason Momoa is a dolphin.
We want to secure the rights to the ocean.
Yeah. And all the ladies are like, ooh, Jason Momoa dolphin. Anything you say.
Oh, Khal Drago. I hate Jason Momoa.
I do too, but I can't.
I know.
I would. but I
He's such a
can't.
specimen of a man.
That motherfucker. Like, how do you score that high on the fucking genetic lottery?
He's not even a good actor, Richard. I've seen his movies. They're terrible, but I'll watch every single one of them.
How do you score that high on the genetic fucking lottery?
I don't know. Well, he's from Hawaii, so maybe he's got, what's the Samoa? Is it Samoa's there, right? The Samoan god?
Yeah.
What's the Samoan
Something
god
like
that's
that.
from there?
I don't know.
Samoa? We are not cultured enough, Richard.
Yeah, at the risk of offending people.
An entire island and state.
Let's just stop.
They're like, and this is why you guys are not specimens and fat white dudes in the Midwest.
Yep, there it is. That is, we've just summed it up.
Calling dominoes.
Oh, I love you, Jason Momoa, but I hate you. I hate that I love you.
He's like, you sons of bitches know how I got this way. 6 hours a day in a gym.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a lot. Do you lift those heavy things? They're called weights. Wow. He knows his stuff.
Like over your head?
Like more than once? How far do you swim?
So eventually he wanted to teach them English and ultimately have a dolphin chair at the UN, having a marine mammal input on world affairs.
Stop polluting our ocean.
Stop throwing 6-packs in the water. No more beer cans.
This is what happens. Pulls up a duck. I'd like to present Exhibit A. Quack, quack, quack.
This is Steve. And Steve is right pissed off.
I'd like to cut this off, but I don't have opposable thumbs, and you some bitches won't help.
Frank Drake, who's an astronomer, he read the book and was like super like captivated. Like his mind was set afire.
He's like, Dr. Lilly, I was going through the bookstore. My wife was going to be out of town for the weekend. I was like, Man and Dolphin, this sounds sexy. Spoiler alert.
Turns out it wasn't sexy, but this is fucking fascinating.
It got my mind going. My mind has not been that intellectually turned on ever. And I look at space.
Okay, so at the time, he was the first person to use a radio telescope to try to reach out and talk to, beings in other planets.
So he was lonely and wanted something closer to Earth to talk
Right.
to.
So he's yeah. Well, I think that was kind of his thing. He's like, hey, I've been trying to talk to aliens. We got these fucking dolphins here. Like, this is amazing.
There's so many of them in the ocean, too. Oh, there's not that many.
Yeah. Frank Drake is actually, and they mention it later in the article, but Frank Drake is the person that later goes on to form the group SETI. Have you heard of SETI?
I haven't listened to any of their music.
No. What?
Sounds like a band name.
SETI, the Search for Extraterrestrial Intelligence.
Oh, I gotcha. Do you think that, you think a guy like Frank Drake is probably why they haven't communicated with us? Like they've heard his calls.
He's like on a microphone, with an amplifier pointed out to space. He's like, let me tell you about this book I fucking read. Guy talks to dolphins.
Oh, you're aliens. You don't know what dolphins are. They're like gay sharks.
And now we'll start in Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, page 1.
Hold on, my mom's calling. Mom, no, I don't need a juice box.
So SETI is this group that they're still around today. They monitor like basically the background noise of space.
Okay.
Or they and then they just collect all this data, and then they sit and try to analyze the data to search for patterns.
All they keep getting is stop calling us.
They look for patterns in signals to see because if we can identify a regular pattern in a signal, then that obviously means that there's something else. There's something that's creating the signal.
Yeah. Okay. Instead of just like space noise.
You can actually go on SETI's website, and when your computer is like in idle, like when your computer's idling, it'll grab a bulk of data from SETI and analyze it and then send the results back.
So you use your computing power to help them out, so they don't have to.
Right, yeah.
Oh, that makes sense.
It's actually kind of cool because you can set it as like your screensaver.
That's cool.
So you look at your screensaver and you see like all these fucking like graphs and gauges, like, you know, like reading shit. It's fucking cool. I had it set as my screensaver forever.
Humans only have 3 more days to live before we come and pillage.
Well, see, I was hoping that I would end up being like the guy at the beginning of Independence Day. Where like you see something, you're like, oh, aliens. Hang on. Aliens.
So, but Richard, what we've learned so far, though, is if aliens come through that, it's just like they're going to be like, hey, you know, we're coming to pillage. Make sure you have a skill to entertain us.
We have bouncy balls.
I can balance a ball on my nose.
Okay. So anyway, so that's the skinny on Frank Drake. So Drake reads Dr. Lilly's book and is fucking fascinated with it. He was the first to use a radio telescope to try and reach out into space. So the interest of Drake, so Drake is like, you know, he's a very prominent astronomer, and he basically uses his kind of like his juice, his moxie, his intellectual muscle, and he manages to convince NASA to fund Dr. Lilly's work.
Yeah, because at this point, we haven't been to the moon.
Right.
Have we sent anybody to space yet?
No, I don't know if you've sent anybody like into orbit, like John Glenn. I can't remember when John Glenn's flight was. So this would be 61. So this would be when we were just starting the space race. This is when Kennedy's like, we will land a man on the moon by the end of this decade.
In the year 1969.
In the summer of love.
Yeah. Why'd they call it the summer of love?
Because we discovered dolphins.
Because dolphins, that's when we discovered dolphins like to have sex for pleasure too.
Yeah, that was the year. Okay, so he gets NASA funding and so Dr. Lilly opens this lab in St. Thomas in 1963. So NASA, while we're trying to put a man on the moon and while we're building rockets and putting monkeys in, you know, whatever and blah, 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 we're also apparently on the side, NASA's, and we're inventing Tang and Teflon.
Oh, yeah. And Velcro.
Yeah. And Velcro. So while we're doing all that, apparently we're also sending some money down to St. Thomas to try to see if we can figure out how dolphins can talk.
Make those dolphins talk, scientist. We're going to run out of these monkeys, sending them to space.
Okay, so now we're going to go back to Margaret. So we've caught up. So now we're in the present.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So Margaret threw herself into Dr. Lilly's work. While Fobio, you know, like you forgot all about Fobio, didn't you? Like open shirt guy,
Dr. Gregory. Was he a doctor too?
I don't think so.
Or did he just play one at the lab?
It doesn't say doctor in front of his name, so I'm guessing not.
Yeah, poser.
So we're going to call him Fobio. So Fobio is the guy. So Fabio's focus is going to be on animal-to-animal communication. He's going to try to figure out how the dolphins are talking to each other.
So he's going to try and learn dolphin language. And he's going to...
Yeah.
Holy shit, what if this is like a reverse experiment and the dolphins are actually the ones experimenting?
Oh my God, you just wrote the next episode of Black Mirror.
Yes,
that's what you just
I did.
Right there.
I'm going to write that. This is going to be like a little ways out. I'll write that. That's a great idea. Hold on, I need a sticky note.
Yeah. In this new world, man is on the menu. So Fabio's working on animal-to-animal communication. And so Margaret is going to focus on human-to-animal communication through daily lessons. She's basically going to try to teach this dolphin how to speak English. That's her plan.
A, B.
So this is like The King and I, but it's with a dolphin.
Oh, yeah, because the dolphins stutter.
You know what? That's exactly what this is. This is the plot of The King and I. And I don't know if you are up on your musical history, Sean, but The King and I was brilliant.
That was where the king couldn't, like, he stuttered, right?
Something like, no, you're thinking of the King's Speech.
And then the only way for him not to stutter was for the lady to give him a hand job? Or is that Black Snake Moan? I don't know. I get the two mixed up. Like Jonathan Timberlake was in it or something, and he was a soldier, and whenever he was around people, he got nervous and stuttered, and he's like, they were like in the line at the grocery store, and they're like, do you want plastic or paper? And he's like, but, and she just reaches over, Christina Ricci, and starts reaching around. And he's like, plastic!
That's how I would say it.
Paper, please. Paper and a napkin.
And an extra one.
That didn't make any sense in that movie.
No.
You've seen Black Snake Moan, right?
Yes, of course
Like
I have.
She's like all sexual and stuff.
Yeah.
And then he stutters and like she just gives him a hand job on the side of the road. I stutter and the wife just smacks me.
Like, no, it's supposed to be like the movie, damn it.
Oh.
Okay, so she's trying to give this dolphin, she's trying to give a dolphin daily lessons to try and teach it English. She felt that by leaving them at night, she felt like that was wasted time. Like she would try and teach them, do lessons during the day, and then at the end of the night, everybody would get in their, they would lock the doors and they would shut the lights off and get in their cars and drive away.
Yeah, so the dolphins are there by themselves, being mischievous.
The dolphins are there, yeah. Right.
Actually, they're getting out and setting up all the other experiments for the next day.
Well, not just that, but like the lab, they said the lab itself was kind of designed to foster interaction between dolphins and humans because that was the whole point of the experiment. So she felt that leaving them at night was wasted time. So she thought that, so she came up with an idea. This is the idea. So she thought that by living with the dolphins, that would yield better results, and it would try to form a relationship like a mom teaching a child to speak.
Is this where Jane Goodall got the idea?
It might be.
Because this is pre-Jane Goodall. We've been doing this all wrong. It's Margaret, not Fletcher, but what's her?
Margaret Lovett.
Margaret Lovett is the one that started to live with the animals to become one. One of us. One of us.
Dolphins in the waters. Gorillas in the mist.
Cage in the water. Dolphin in the water.
Okay, so Dr. Lilly likes the idea, and he's like, you know what? Let's do it. So here's the plan. So they have the upper floors of the lab. What they do is they waterproof the upper floors of the lab.
Okay.
And then they fill those, so there's like a few rooms and a balcony. So they fill that entire area with like 2 feet of water, or 2 or 3 feet of water.
Okay.
So then the plan is that she would live in this area of the lab, and then they would pick one of the dolphins to go up there with her. And so they would live together. And then she would continue to do these daily lessons and everything, but at the same time, they would just live together. So they have there's a area suspended above the water for her to sleep, and then there's another area suspended above the water.
So it's kind of like one of those island resort type things. Like she's got a little hammock that like sways above the water. The dolphin like nudges her every now and then when he's, wants to go pee-pee or something. No, it's got to go to the other water. You don't pee-pee in the bath water.
But it's all the same water.
No, you take him to the pee-pee bath water. That's where they go pee-pee and poo-poo.
But then they're going to swim through it.
Richard, do you really think that all those animals pee and poo-poo in the ocean? No, they go to the pee-pee place.
They go like the elephant graveyard. It's where they all go to make their poops. Okay, so he waterproofed the upper lab floors and filled them with 2 to 3 feet of water in the rooms and a balcony. They selected Peter to be the dolphin to go up to live with Margaret.
Couldn't pick one of the girls first? He was like,
No.
you should take Sissy. She's like, I ain't sleeping with that bitch.
So for 6 days a week, the two of them would live in complete isolation. And then one day a week, Peter would go back down to hang out with girls.
Mm-hmm.
So for one day a week he would be with the other dolphins. So she recorded her lessons with Peter, and her, she apparently made very meticulous notes on her time living with Peter.
In complete isolation, just her and Peter.
It's just her and Peter.
That's weird.
All alone together for months.
That's like horse people. Like horse people are weird, you know?
Horse people, like the people that dress up and like furries, but
no, people that like own horses, like own horses, like they're weird.
People that own horses are weird?
Yeah.
Why?
I don't know. They
Is
just
it because they're like super into horses?
Yeah, just if you have like one or two horses, like, yeah, I got a horse. But like people like super into horses, it's just, I don't know, it's weird. Mainly because like I think horses are only good for glue, and the fact that horses creep me out.
So what you're saying is that when you were younger, you fell off a horse.
Yeah, basically.
Okay, that makes sense. I'm super into unicorns. I don't know what that...
Well, I mean, basically they have like a long sword on their head, so that makes sense.
Yeah, it's awesome.
And we know how much you love swords.
Stab, stab, unicorn, man.
Stab, stab, in my rectum. Wait, what?
Whoa. She recorded her sessions with Peter, but it was the time that they weren't working that they really bonded.
Well, yeah, that makes sense. Whenever you're not working with a friend and you're just kind of laying back, having a drink, yeah, you learn a lot about the person.
Yeah, they got to hang out and bond or what, and everything else. And
it's like, Peter, what are you really into? I really want to have sex with a human. Wow, what a coincidence.
This is like Beauty and the Beast. That's what this is, but it's with dolphins.
Okay. What's the rose version? Is it like coral? Coral that's starting to deteriorate?
Yes, that's exactly what it is.
Aww.
Carl Sagan.
This is hotter now that I think Emma Watson is the Margaret chick.
Well, I don't know why they haven't made this a movie. Carl Sagan, who, I don't know if anybody knows Carl Sagan. I don't know if you know Carl Sagan. Super famous physicist, astronomer, like he was like the Neil deGrasse Tyson of the 60s.
Okay.
He had a show on PBS, and oh God, I used to watch it a bunch when I was a kid, but the name escapes me.
Was it Mr. Whiz?
No, you're thinking of Mr. Wizard. That was not Carl Sagan. So Carl Sagan visited the facility, and he reported back to Drake. And apparently Sagan was kind of taken aback. Sagan was like, I thought they were just going to do some simple experiments with the dolphins to try to get them to try and figure out how they talk.
Okay.
So what he thought they were going to do was like, they have, two dolphins in one tank and one dolphin in another tank. And they teach a dolphin, like, they have to do this certain thing to get food. Like, oh, if they, jump up in the air 4 times, then they get food.
Basic tricks.
Right. And then withhold it from the other group. So that way the one dolphin would have to tell the other dolphins how to get food.
Okay, that makes sense.
Hey, like the one dolphin would be like, hey, if you jump up in the air 4 times, you get food.
They'd be like, oh my God, they're communicating. They're just like people. Let's stop eating them.
So he thought that's what they were going to do. Like Drake, the astronomer Drake thought that's the plan. Like, oh, we're going to figure out how they talk. They do these little experiments, blah, blah, blah. So Sagan comes back. He's like, listen, so I just got back from St. Thomas. Like, oh, yeah, so they did the thing with the, jump 4 times, get food. He's like, no, that's not what's going on here, boss. Let me tell you about my experience at the secret lab in St. Thomas. They got a chick living upstairs with the fucking dolphin. It's crazy. It's crazy. Like Drake. I don't know what the fucking deal is, but these people are fucking crazy. I gotta find the quotes. Lovett. Oh, so there's Lovett's notes. Doggedly documenting Peter's progress with her twice daily lessons and repeatedly encouraging him to greet her with the phrase, "Hello, Margaret." She remembers that M was very difficult. She remembers, my name, hello, Margaret. I worked on the M sound, and eventually he rolled over to bubble it through the water. Margaret. Hello, Margaret. Wilbur.
Margaret, tie the rock to your feet, Margaret.
We thought, okay, so Carl Sagan paid a visit and reported back his progress. We thought that it was important to have the dolphins teach us, quote, dolphinese, if there is such a thing. That's what Drake said. For example, we suggested 2 dolphins in each tank not able to see each other, and he should teach one dolphin a procedure to obtain food and then see if it could tell the other dolphins how to do the same thing in its tank. That was really the prime experiment to be done, but Lilly never seemed able to do it.
I can't have them separate. I can't leave them separate. They get anxiety.
Except the one that's upstairs, but he's got friends. He's got company. Instead, Lilly encouraged Lavette to press on with teaching Peter English, but there was something getting in the way of the lessons. Okay, so this is from a vet. Oh, this is from the vet of the lab, Andy Williamson, and he looked after the animal's health. He said, dolphins get sexual urges. And I'm sure Peter had plenty of thoughts along those lines.
Well, Margaret was in there in her bikini, splashing around.
I'm quoting the story directly now. So, Peter liked to be with me, explains Lavette. He would rub himself on my knee or my foot or my hand. At first, I would put him downstairs with the girls, she said. But transporting Peter downstairs proved so disruptive to the lessons that...
Especially when he had a boner.
Exactly. But transporting Peter downstairs proved so disruptive to the lessons that, faced with his frequent arousals, it just seemed easier for Lavette to relieve his urges herself manually.
That's why I tell the wife, but she doesn't believe it.
Oh my God. When I was doing these notes, I knew you were going to make that joke. As I'm writing this, I'm like, oh, Sean's going to be like, yep, that's... Take my wife, please.
Oh, I'm so predictable.
I knew you were going to make that joke.
One of us was going to.
Okay. She said I allowed that. I wasn't uncomfortable with it as long as it wasn't rough. It would just become part of what was going on, like an itch, just to get rid of it, scratch it, and move on. And that's how it seemed to work out. It wasn't private. People could observe it.
It started out with a hand, but then the hand wasn't enough.
And then one person was looking, and then next thing I knew, 5 people were looking.
And I don't know where they got the camera.
Yeah, and one guy was collecting money. Let me see them dollar bills. Let me see them tips.
But who's the sexy stud?
She said it wasn't sexual. It was more sensual. She said it wasn't sexual. She thought of it as sensual.
That's how you talk yourself into it.
These encounters would overshadow the whole experiment when an article was published in the late 70s. You know who put that article out, Sean?
Dr. Seuss.
Hustler magazine.
Dear, and the dolphin wrote in. Dear Hustler, I never thought this would happen to me. I spend most of my time in the ocean.
Until one fateful day, her buxom breast screamed to me as her heaving bosom was thrust upon my face. Now, so in the 70s, there was an article published in Hustler, and the article was like, oh, dolphins and humans are getting it on. Like, that was kind of the article. There's actually a picture in the in this Guardian story. There's a picture of the Hustler article, and it's you see it's a drawing of a person with a dolphin. Like, I'm gonna show you the picture.
Oh, that's sexy. Interspecies sex.
Humans and dolphins.
And they say our generation's perverted.
Right? And in the 70s, they're talking about sleeping with dolphins.
Underwater. How's she going to breathe?
I mean, it's Larry Flint, though. I mean, do you really expect anything less?
That's true.
She bought up all the copies she could to minimize damage, but of course the story's out there.
My mom might read this.
And I'm sure you could probably Google it and find this Hustler story somewhere.
She's buying up all the internet pages too now.
She's made her peace with it because that wasn't the experiment and those weren't the results. So she just ignores it now. Plus the fact that she's fucking 97.
Yeah, she's like, what? I was young. I had sex with a dolphin. Wait, that part wasn't covered. You had sex with a dolphin? No.
Okay, Sean. Now we're gonna get to the tragedy, the tragic part of this article. This is where things take a little downturn because there was another experiment going on, and this experiment kind of started to spell the beginning of the end because Dr. Lilly went during a visit to Hollywood. He was hanging out with and I shit you not, this is in the article. He's hanging out with the co-creator of the show Flipper.
Okay.
So they're hanging out in Hollywood.
Wait.
And
you what's it called where you take advantage of something? You exploit dolphins in your show and you exploit dolphins in your laboratory. Let's buy some drinks.
So something else began to interrupt the study. Lilly had been researching the mind-altering powers of the drug LSD since the early 60s. The wife of even... Do what?
So she was doing drugs while she was doing the tugging off old Peter?
No. This wasn't her. We're talking about... This is Dr. Lilly.
Oh, okay.
So Dr. Lilly had been researching the drug. The wife of Ivan Tors, the producer of the Dolphin movie Flipper, had first introduced him to it at a party in Hollywood. They were really good friends, and Ivan was financing some of the work on St. Thomas. I saw John go from a scientist with a white coat to a full-blown hippie. And this is from Rick O'Barry of the Dolphin Project. Okay, so now let's get a little celebrity in here. Jeff Bridges. Huh?
All right.
Yeah, the dude. Yeah. Jeff Bridges was the dude. Lloyd Bridges wasn't. No. For the actor Jeff Bridges, who was introduced to Lilly by his father Lloyd, Dr. Lilly's self-experimentation with LSD was just part of who he was. John Lilly was above all an explorer of the brain and the mind and all those drugs that expand our consciousness. There weren't too many people with his expertise and his scientific background doing that kind of work. So apparently he was one of the few scientists to be licensed to use LSD for experiments.
Okay.
And so while Margaret is upstairs with Peter and they're doing whatever it is they're doing, Dr. Lilly is downstairs shoving LSD into the other two dolphins. But apparently it's not having any effect.
I wonder why.
He's giving the dolphins LSD and nothing's happening.
Because they drowned.
The story talks about cites a vet who says that that drugs are different from species to species. While one drug may make cats super lazy, it might make dogs super hyper. So you never know. But eventually it caused kind of a rift in the lab because Margaret felt bad that he was injecting the other two dolphins with LSD. Of course she's not the boss of the lab, and so there's nothing she could really do about it. Fobio gets pissed off and leaves. He's done. He's like, fuck this. I can't. He floats his hair back in the wind. I can't sit here while you inject these dolphins. And so he bolts. He leaves. And the project's kind of winding down, and eventually NASA cuts the funding.
Oh, no more drugged up, sexed up dolphins for you.
No more drugged up, sexed up dolphins.
That's like the buzzkill party killer kind of thing right there.
Right. So Dr. Lilly eventually finds another lab to kind of continue the experiment, but it's in Miami, and he's more focused on the LSD than he is about crazy Margaret living upstairs with a dolphin. So he finds a lab in Miami, which is, when I say lab, the article talks that it's basically like an old bank building that he's retrofitted into a lab. So no sunlight, no, fun in the Caribbean with the dolphins. This is dolphins in a tank. So he takes the dolphins, he closes the lab, takes the dolphins and moves them to Miami. Well, within a few months, eventually, Peter commits suicide.
The dolphin killed himself?
The dolphin killed himself.
What? Because he didn't have the love of his life anymore.
Probably. Isn't it sad? Apparently, the way the dolphins kill themselves in captivity is obviously they need air to breathe. So they just go up, they take a breath, and they swim down to the bottom of the tank and never surface.
That's got to be tough to do. Like,
I would think so.
Like, as a human, isn't it like tough to like drown yourself without any kind of like assistance? Like, you can't just
Yeah, that's what I thought. So Lilly tried other things to try to get the dolphins to talk. Like, at one point, he tried using telepathy.
Okay.
And he tried to use telepathy to understand the dolphins. He tried teaching them music tones to try to get them to communicate that way. But he never further pursued trying to actually teach them English. So Margaret, so here's the bright spot to the story. Because number one, like, Margaret had an amazing fucking life. I mean, she was super sad when the dolphin died. Like, they called her and told her, and she was, fucking beside herself, obviously.
Yeah, I mean, she shared some. I mean, that, like, well, I guess, have you ever had anybody that you've made sweet nothings with pass away?
Yes.
How's that feel? Like, that's how I think this would feel.
It's a little weird, especially, like, I was young. I was a lot younger when that happened.
Okay.
That was, like, when that happened, I was like 20 when I found out about that. And yeah, that was
Oh,
weird.
so it'd been like later on that happened?
Yeah. I was like in my early 20s. I don't think it was 20, but I was in my early 20s. It was a weird, it's a weird thing to think about, I guess. I don't know. So, but I'm gonna wrap it up here with the happy ending. Okay, I brought you down. Now I'm gonna bring you back up. Okay,
bring me back up. So
obviously, Margaret has lived a very full and happy life. She's nine. This is in 2014, 97 years old.
Mm-hmm.
Like, so after the lab closed, she stayed on the island and just spent most of her life on the island. Which, I mean, why wouldn't you? It's a fucking island in the middle of the Caribbean. She eventually married the photographer of
Hustler magazine.
She married the photographer that took pictures of her and Peter during the experiments.
Yeah.
So she marries the photographer.
I mean, if the dude that's gonna photograph you, giving the old southpaw to a dolphin, he's seen you at your, I don't know if you call it your best or your worst.
Or both. The worst of your best, or the best of your worst.
Do you think he'd use that against her? Like, he's laying in bed, he's like, "Hey, he starts rubbing it on her knee, on her hip, and in her hand." She's like, "No, I'm tired." He's like, Peter was.
I mean, did I say Peter? I didn't mean. Called me by the dolphin's name. Okay, so she married the photographer. They had 3 kids. They eventually named
Sissy, Peter.
They bought the building of the lab, and they turned the lab into their family home and lived there for years.
I bet I know where the bedroom was.
Waterproof.
He's always asking, like, why do we have to make love in the bathtub?
You're awful.
Well, that's weird. I mean, that'd be like, if your wife is like, oh, I want to go move into the place that I lost my virginity.
Over the years, I have received letters from people who are working with dolphins themselves, she says. They often say things like, when I was 7, I read about you living with a dolphin, and that's what started it all for me. There you go. Oh, all right. So that's the end. That's the end of the harrowing story of Margaret Lavette, or Lovett, I'm not sure. Dr. John Lilly, who's jamming LSD into dolphins and saying that we should have a dolphin UN counselor. And Fobio, the coolest lab director you would ever want to meet.
So Peter's at the UN. It's like, Peter, what do you want more of? We want more women like Margaret.
Wearing a lab coat with no shirt. That's what I picture.
Or pants.
That
actually seems kind of comfortable when you think about it.
Yeah, a little bit.
Free and breezy.
Yeah. It's like wearing a big coat.
Yeah. Like a streaker coat.
I have a streaker coat. I love that coat.
Yeah, I know. I've seen that.
I know you have. All right, Sean. Well, I have been talking forever and ever, and I would love to get your closing thoughts.
Oh, let's throw this curveball out there.
Yeah, I'd love to get your final thoughts on the harrowing story of Margaret, a dolphin, and a love that could never be.
Well, I think what Margaret has taught us here is that it's a tale of somebody falling in love with this is a Romeo and Juliet-esque style love story. You know, nobody wants this love to grow. Nobody wants these two to be together, but they still are. And in the end, one of them commits suicide.
See, this is why.
And Margaret's a bitch and didn't follow through.
Oh my God. See, this is why I do the closing thoughts. Because I try, you know what? You live in the darkness. I try and light a candle, but no, not Sean. Sean's
what?
like, no.
Romeo and Juliet's a beautiful story.
Yeah, until the dolphin kills himself.
All right, well, let me do a little bit of housekeeping. Well, you laugh too. Don't get mad at me. Visit our website. We're at languageofbromance.com. Follow us on Twitter at languageofbro. Email us at eatthebeaver@languageofbromance.com. Check out the LOB Intelligence Reports. Like us on Facebook. Subscribe and leave a review on Google Play Music, iTunes, and Stitcher.
And don't forget to check us out on the Pod Bros Network.
The podcast site on the internet I think they've got tons of experiments going on right now with all the podcasts, don't they?
Unfortunately, none of them involve LSD.
Yeah, well, I was with John the other day. He's like, this is an experiment, Sean. He kept rubbing on my hip and leg.
I like to experiment.
And if you want to join our Patreon to throw a little money in our experimenting drawer, go to www.patreon.com/languageofbromance. All right, was there anything else before we close her out?
No, we're done here.
All right, well, that's all the bromance we have for this show. I'm Sean.
And I'm Richard.
And I say we eat the dolphin beaver.
The beaver. The chicken of the forest.
That's pretty good.